Welcome to The Feed, powered by Loblaw. I'm your host, Michael LeBlanc. We conceived of The Feed podcast as an opportunity to showcase thought leaders, tastemakers, innovative food and health brands, and yes, a few key Loblaw executives who are making a difference in the grocery and health industries, together helping Canadians live life well. What happens when a global software executive walks away from tech to reinvent how we eat? On this episode, I sit down with Enza Cianciotta, founder of Solenzi Food, to explore how a passion for nutrition, global food standards, and clean ingredients turned into one of Canada's most exciting emerging food brands. Enza shares how European food standards inspired her product innovation, why clean ingredients and flavor must coexist, and how she scaled through Loblaw's small supplier program. The conversation also explores the impact of tariffs, Canadian retail growth, the Buy Canadian movement, and the future of better-for-you convenience foods. Enza, welcome to The Feed. How are you doing this morning?
Great. Thank you so much, Michael.
Well, thanks for coming all the way in and here at Maple Leaf Gardens, Loblaw's Maple Leaf Gardens. We're in the small supplier booth once again, a familiar place for you. I see your product, and I think you were at the Royal as well.
I was.
Doing some sampling.
Yeah, we were there. It was amazing.
Fabulous.
Great turnout, great feedback. So
Fabulous. Well, I've been looking forward to talking with you. I mean, I've tried some of your products, just fantastic. I want to tap into your wisdom about some great recipes. You got some great recipes on the site. But why don't we talk about the origin story? I think you traveled the world and then came back here and saw there's a space in the universe for what you had in mind. But take us through the origin story of your brand.
Yeah, I'd love to. So essentially, I spent about 30 years doing software startups. My career took me right across North America, and then I ended up moving to the UK, to London, to do some software startups there. And while I was there, I was only going to be a 2-year stint, and it turned into a 12-year stint. I met my husband and ended up staying there for 12 years. When we moved back to Toronto, back for me, not for him, but when we moved back to Toronto, I stayed in software, but I have a real passion for food and nutrition. Always have been. I love to cook. I love to feed my friends and family through food, and that's how I show my caring and my love for them. And I really wanted to pursue something around the food industry, and I was working for a small software company here in Toronto. I was traveling to the UK every few weeks, still opening up their European operation, but out of Toronto. And I ended up going to nutritional college. So the CEO...
I like the way you said that. I wound up I just walked in a door and said, what is this? Oh, it's a nutritional college. I think I'll go here.
Yeah, I went to the
institute. It feels a little more deliberate than that, I have to say.
It was. So I approached the founder of the software business, and I said, hey, I have this real passion around food and nutrition, and I really want to understand how food affects us, and I'd love to take this course at the Institute of Holistic Nutrition. And he said, sure. He said, as long as you're still doing the work that we've contracted you to do 3 days a week. And I was going to the college, and he's very flexible. It was great. And I didn't go because I wanted to be a nutritionist. I really wanted to understand the relationship between food and how it affects us, and really understand what does GMO really mean, and how does eating one blueberry or a strawberry or a tomato affect us as humans if they've genetically modified it. And I learned a lot, and I ended up, while I was doing that and still working in the software business, I decided that I really wanted to open up my own brand and my own company. And it was my husband who encouraged me to do it. He originally I wanted to produce food, and he knows me very well. I have a more of a sales and marketing background, and he said, you're creative, you know what you want to do, why don't you work with producers to create the food you want and launch your own brand? And that's essentially what I did. So I launched Solenzi, which is a brand dedicated to bringing the convenience of preparing meals with healthier gourmet alternatives to what was available in the marketplace. When I moved back from the UK, Michael, I found that we were lacking in North America with our food choices in the grocery stores.
And you found that in London and in your travels? Like was there a spark of idea? Did you see it on the shelf there as well, or was it?
Not yes and no. So in London, it's a very prevalent when you go to grocery stores that you will find ready meals or meals for one or two people.
Yeah.
Easy to prepare, easy to throw together, like a heat and serve sauce, or a lot of the pestos and tapenades that I have, very easy to put together. But also with the European standards, they create food differently than North America does, than the U.S. does more specifically. The U.S. tends to focus more on marketing and sales and doesn't focus as much on the ingredients they're putting in those foods. So I'll give you an example, ketchup. We all love ketchup. We've grown up with it. In Europe, they'll actually put sugar, tomatoes, vinegar, salt. In the U.S., if you read the ketchup ingredients, it's modified corn syrup. It's
a big
GMOs.
ingredient. It's a big ingredient.
It's a totally different ingredient set. It's all genetically modified oils and or additives that you're getting in the foods. And that transcends beyond just a ketchup or a condiment. A lot of the prepared foods I was seeing on shelf, even if they said organic, which they may have been, they have organic emulsifiers or guar gum or carnation in them. So I really wasn't really keen on picking up that type of product and being able to take it home to my family and myself and eat it and enjoy it as much as I would have liked.
So it was a little bit less, let me characterize it this way. It was a little bit less, you were thinking there was a missing flavor profile, and it was more that I think I can have a better flavor and a better product. Is that
I wanted to
approach it that way?
There were two things going on.
You can't have one without the other, right?
Correct.
You can't have it's got to be a delicious product, got to be a craveable product.
Right. 100%. A lot of the products I was finding on shelf were tasteless or didn't have the flavor profile that I really wanted. But more so than that, I was finding it really easy to find snacks, healthier snacks, than it was real meal-making products.
Interesting.
So I wasn't, unless I found something that was already made for me, as an Italian heritage woman who loves to cook, I didn't want a lasagna that was already done.
Right.
What I would have wanted is a really good bolognese sauce that was ready to go, and some lasagna noodles, for example, and pick up some cheese and just be able to assemble it and throw it in the oven when I got home.
Right.
So we're all working, we're all very busy. So the idea of that gourmet quality food combined with convenience, I was finding really hard to get.
Okay. And spend a few minutes just taking us through the product line itself, because I was on your site, you said you get the tapenade. I'm a big fan already, by the way, of your, I have a recipe, I've used the Calabrian chili pesto.
Yes.
I have already tried it in my, I mix it up with mayonnaise, lime juice, lime zest, and a barbecue seasoning, and then put chicken in it overnight.
Oh my God.
And then
sounds
smoke it the
fantastic.
next day. And it's,
You have a smoker?
Yeah, well, I have a couple, but but so it's just a fabulous product. So I've tried it already, but take us through the line. So you've got both. I don't know if I call them alternative pastas, but you've got pastas.
Yeah, they're alternative pastas.
They're alternative pastas. So take us, just walk us through the line a little bit.
Yeah. So when I first founded the brand, I wanted to go to market with a gluten-free, free from. That was the whole
Yeah, that's your tagline. That's your tagline, right? Free from.
Free from foods. And I've actually changed it, and I've had to morph and pivot it over time because people in North America didn't understand what free from really meant. And essentially, I wanted to be able to give people a real gourmet product. So talk about my product line. So I started with the alternative pastas, 100% single ingredient. So I have a lentil fusilli, a chickpea, a green pea, high protein. That was really important to me. Certified organic.
You're on trend there, right?
Yeah, they were exactly on trend.
Yeah.
And I sometimes think I was a pioneer. So really early on, in the development of this market, but now everybody's coming around looking for higher plant-based protein that are not artificial.
So
I started with the pastas.
Yeah. Oh, you started with the pastas.
Yeah, I started with the pastas.
And they're dry pasta I saw them dry pasta in a box.
Yeah.
Shelf ready.
100% bronzed die extruded, made in Italy, very artisanal and traditionally made by a small producer in northern Italy, and they're fantastic quality. Our lentil fusilli, we were featured on The Good Stuff with Mary Berg as the best alternative pasta in the marketplace with a dietitian. And it's my best-selling SKU. It's my best-selling product is the red lentil fusilli.
Fantastic.
It holds really well. So I started with the pastas, then I launched my antipasto range, which is a variety of different pickled vegetables, if you will, in a traditional way made in Italy. Artichokes, sun-dried peppers, sun-dried tomatoes, and goat's cheese peppers. And those started to do very well. People use them as an accompaniment to meat or fish, or if they're putting together a charcuterie board or a cheese board and want some alternatives, they're really easy. You open them up, put them in a jar. You can leave them in the jar or put them in a little bowl, and you're good to go. And they're really good accompaniments to meat or fish. And I have a line of sun-dried mixes that I was bringing in from Italy. And I had 4 sun-dried mixes I was bringing in from Italy in these little pouches. In Italy, it's very common to use these sun-dried mixes to create sauces or to add flavor to soups and casseroles. You may have heard of spaghetti mezzanotte, which is the aglio olio peperoncino spaghetti. So these sun-dried mixes would come in little pouches. And I would go to trade shows, CIAL or CHFA, and I would try to get people to understand what to do with these sun-dried mixes. And it was really difficult because the North American market doesn't understand how to use natural vegetables potentially that are all ready to go. And I was going to the CHFA show. This is about 3.5, 4 years, just literally pre-COVID, the year before COVID. And I was going to this trade show, and I wanted people to understand my mushroom mix. It's a really aromatic porcini mushroom mix. It's called boscaiola, and boscaiola means foraged from the woods. So the porcini mushrooms are foraged, and the boscaiola is the person who goes out and forages in the forest for mushrooms.
Okay.
So I called my mix boscaiola, and I had made Thai food the night before, and I had an extra can of coconut cream, because a lot of these shows, people are also looking for dairy alternatives. So I was thinking, let me see how this would work, just so I could promote my pastas with the mix and the sauce. So I took the coconut cream, I took my boscaiola mix, and I simmered it for 15 minutes. I threw it into a Tupperware, and I went to the show. And I started to get my lentil fusilli out with this boscaiola sauce. I was doing demos. Nobody cared about anything else. They just wanted to know where to buy the sauce.
Yeah.
It's so good. So I ended up working with George Brown College, the Innovation Lab, and we created a shelf-stable sauce using my mix and coconut cream. So it's a very unique one in the marketplace because it doesn't have dairy cream, and it doesn't use cashews or nuts or soy to create the vegan creaminess that you crave. So
it's a great segue to talk about product innovation and development. Like, I talk to many food entrepreneurs, and for many it's this intersection of the personal and the professional, and they kind of, I need this, or I want this, or I see this opportunity. And then, you get going and you're like, on the one hand, I got too many ideas.
100%. 100%.
Here's 150 products that I have in my mind. Others have a big whiteboard and say, what's, that intersection, I'll use that word twice in a row, of like commercially viable, innovative, different, and really aligned with your values, right? The free from. So what's your process? You just described the process literally out of the kitchen of like, I'm going to put a few things together that I know and Shazam.
Yeah.
Do you have any more of a kind of, I won't call it rigorous, but any more of a defined process? Like how do you how do you see in 2 and 3 and 5 years? Do you think of it that way?
I don't have a defined process per se, Michael. I look at the market. I really understand what's going on. Mostly in the U.S., I try to see what's going on, and I look to Europe because of my background and the quality of the food you can get in Europe. I like to work with some of the European trends, and I look at that. But the boscaiola sauce is a really good example of a marrying between the two, North American culture and what's desirable here, and being able to bring people a non-GMO, sugar-free, but very aromatic and wonderful sauce that's on trend, along with my ortolana sauce, which is a rosé vodka-style sauce, again, made with sun-dried mixes, but very innovative, very on trend, and people, when they see it, I was actually here
Friday.
on
You were here Friday, yeah.
and there was someone who saw my sauce here, and they were like, "Oh my God, there's no sugar, there's no nuts, there's no soy, there's no gluten." And
where have you been all my life? Where have you been all my life?
Exactly.
Right?
Where can I find it? How can I? So I did the same thing with the Calabrian chili. We won an award at the GIC show.
I was going to say, award-winning Calabrian.
Correct. So we won as one of the top 10 products, innovation products in Canada.
Which, when I first looked at that, I'm like, wait a minute, how can this be innovative? Because there is a lot of product like it. I have several types in the house.
So how many under a Canadian brand? How many under a women-owned certified Canadian brand? And a more gourmet style, pure Calabrian chili without having it mixed. There's a lot of bombas on the market.
Sure.
And they're all under Italian brands that are being imported here. So, you know, I recognized a trend. It's very trendy. I don't know if you follow some of the celebrity chefs like Bobby Flay.
Sure.
And they use it in everything, and he uses it in everything. So I recognized the trend, and I thought, well, people recognize Solenzi for quality. They recognize it for gourmet and flavor, and it's not just better for you. It tastes fantastic. All my products have to pass the fantastic taste test before they go anywhere.
Well, I think of that. I wonder if you think of it the same way. I think of these things sometimes as table stakes and differentiators. And table stakes in our business, in the food business, it's got to taste great. If it doesn't taste great, there's so much choice that consumers have. So that's kind of your table stakes. Your
100%.
differentiators are all the things we've just been talking about, right?
Right.
I want to ask you something, since we're talking about food innovation and trends. There's obviously a big trend towards protein, and backing that out, that's probably somewhat being driven and will be driven by the GLP-1s and how food companies are thinking about craveability and new products. How do you think about it? You've got to be keeping your eye on, you know, when this happens. Recent studies, 15% of Canadians, 26% of households in the U.S. So it's not a small trend. And I know a lot of food brands are thinking about, does my product work for that community? And is there products that in my line that could work? Or is there something new I have? How do you think about that?
I think I already have cracked that with my lentil, my green pea, and my chickpea pasta. Being 100% single ingredient.
Has the craveability.
It has the craveability. It's got the texture. It tastes fantastic. It holds up really well. And my lentil's 26 grams of protein in a 100-gram portion. It's exactly like you would get a piece of meat or fish. So you're getting a whole protein, but it's plant-based.
Right.
The green pea's 23 grams and the chickpea's 21 grams. So I'm already there with that, and I'm not sure I would want to augment what I already have in the market with artificial proteins, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So
no boosting. You're not going to boost it, right?
Right.
You see lots of boosts.
Correct. And
right?
so there's a trend that, for example, a bolognese sauce that is made that's vegan, so it doesn't have any animal protein in it, but it's got soy or hemp or tempeh in it. I don't want to do that. I'm not looking to target just the alternative market. I want to target the The consumer who loves to cook at home is looking for convenience matched with a better product.
Right. Better for you.
Yes,
right?
better and better for you.
For you.
So I'm looking at the higher or the more common elements like sugar and gluten and like the additives that guar gum or carnage you don't really need to make a product delicious. That's where I'm going to stay. I would like to be able to approach the market more holistically and with what's I can create the volumes that I need in my business to target the greater person. So somebody it's inclusive is what I'm trying to say. Right. So somebody buying
doesn't have to be either or. It's
correct.
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody. Somebody buying my boscaiola sauce is not a vegan person. It's somebody who loves mushrooms and loves the aromatic nature and the creaminess, is craving that creaminess and misses it. Oh, and by the way, it happens to be made with coconut cream instead of dairy cream. But it's for you and me, and if they're cooking for a family or for their friends, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you have an intolerance or allergy, or you just have a dislike, or you're trying to avoid dairy for one day, or meat, animal products for one day, you can very happily cook with one of my products, and it's inclusive. It's for everybody. It's not just for that person that's looking for an alternative.
Let's talk about, it's always one thing to have a bunch of ideas, another thing to
exactly.
make some product, put some wonderful product in some jars, another thing to get it out to Canadian consumers. So that brings us to talk about how you came to do business or came to be aware of Loblaw's small supplier program, and what was your path to getting into the program and getting on the shelves at Loblaw's?
Oh, that's a great question. I was working with a distributor who had helped me get listed at Loblaw's, actually at Fortino's, one of the banners of Loblaw's. And unfortunately, they actually went out of business about 2.5, 3 years ago.
The distributor?
The distributor did, yeah. Sorry.
We know Fortino's.
Fortino's.
I'm like, what? Did I miss it?
No, so unfortunately the distributor went out of business. They were going to be closing their doors. So I approached Loblaw's and I found out about their small vendor program, and I applied.
So you approached them directly?
Well, yes.
Right.
I found out they had launched, literally it was January when they launched the small vendor program, and I went in and I said, can I be part of this? I've got my distributor.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
Exactly. Tell me more.
Right.
And it's been fantastic. It has been, the onboarding through the vendor team was great. I was onboarded. I asked them at the end of December, early January, when they first launched it. I had found out it was coming out. And I was onboarded by April 1st.
Fantastic.
I was onboarded. I was already shipping to them. So I transitioned away from a distributor to be direct with Loblaw's to deliver to them every week through their DC61, which it doesn't matter, but it's a distribution center through Flow, and it's worked out
fantastic.
Wonderfully.
Now, a nice seamless transition between
100%.
what was and what
Yes.
is.
Now, moving forward, you're absolutely right. I worked with the category managers on my new line. So my sauces, which are made here in Ontario in Canada to my specifications and recipes. So all 4 of my sauces are Canadian made, and we use both imported and local ingredients to create the flavor profiles for those 4 sauces. And my pestos and antipastos, I had to put in front of the category manager of Fortino's. And honestly, it's just been fantastic. They love the products. It's working really well. Everyone who tries them really enjoys the taste and the quality of the products. And we're continuing that journey now, hopefully through Superstore and through the Loblaw's metro locations and the independent grocers. I'm hoping to get a little bit more
and you're ready to go
prevalent.
From a manufacturing. I mean, it's that intersection of opportunity and being ready for the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of opportunity, the last couple of questions. You've mentioned the U.S. a couple of times. Are you doing business into the U.S.? And this is kind of, you're going to grow. How are you going to grow the business? I mean, it sounds like you're ready to scale. Is there opportunities in the States that you're already in or looking at?
I was, but with the tariffs, it's made an impact on my business. I was selling to smaller gourmet food shops and through a wholesale, but they my business has completely
Right.
changed in the since basically July 29th, August 1st.
So you turn your mind to the growth in I've talked to many entrepreneurs and they said, all right, I'm going to grow in Canada.
100%.
I'm going to turn my mind
Michael,
to grow
100%.
in this country.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Fantastic.
I want to focus on Canada, want to focus on our home turf, and we have so many wonderful retailers here. And it's just a matter of getting a little bit of visibility into these grocery chains like Loblaws and like, Superstore or Zayre's or
it feels
in the deli, and pivoting away from natural,
right, getting the right place in the store, right,
exactly,
different place in the store,
into the deli and grocery area.
Are we going to look back, or you might even look back in some weird way? I mean, there's a little bit of a tailwind of the Buy Canadian product, which has kind of raised awareness of Canadian manufacturers. Like, hey, we've got some great things in our own backyard. Let's put some more focus on that. Are you experiencing that?
Yes and no. It was really prevalent in the press. It's like Buy Canadian, and it's frustrating. Let's say it's frustrating for me to go into a grocery store, and I understand the financial dynamics and these large companies, but it is frustrating to go into a grocery store and that I shop in every day, and to see Rao's sauces, Carbone, New York Brooklyn sauce, 3 American-made sauces that are considered premium sauces and that are brought in from the U.S. from, Campbell's owns Rao's, and there's these large U.S. companies that are promoting these, and my sauce isn't there. So I
more
think
work to do. There's more work to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do, and it is encouraging to know that people are supporting Canadian brands and want to see more Canadian brands on shelf, and it's just going to take time.
Yeah, it's not going to happen over.
No,
it's not going to happen
for
overnight.
sure.
What does it mean to you? Like, kind of last question. It's kind of bringing this home and summarizing this. What does it mean to you to have this journey kind of be at the place where it is today? I mean, you started with a gem of an idea. You were in software. You were in a very different business, but you had this passion. Many people's passion never equate to, there's a lot of ups and downs in any business. What does it mean to you now to be at the place you are and putting out the great products on the Canadian shelves and in the homes?
I feel very proud of what I've achieved so far, and I'm really looking forward to the growth and the ability to take this to the next level in its fruition as a fabulous Canadian women-owned certified brand that is synonymous with high-quality, great-tasting products just made better.
A great place to end the interview. Thank you again so much for coming down and chit and chat with me, and it was great to meet you, and congratulations on your success, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, be sure and follow us and give us a 5-star review in your favorite podcast app, and tell your friends and colleagues all about us. New episodes of The Feed, powered by Loblaw, will show up regularly on your favorite podcast app and on our YouTube page, where you can watch the full video of each episode at The Feed, powered by Loblaw. I'm Michael LeBlanc, consumer retail growth consultant, keynote speaker and producer, and host of a series of retail trade podcasts. You can learn more about me on LinkedIn. Safe travels, everyone.